Hi guys, we're back again with another episode. Wow, it took us a while. Yeah, uh, we've been busy with things and stuff. I might not sound as animated as usual. I just woke up from the fattest nap of my life. I feel
Nice.
like a whole new person. Uh, Morris, what you been up to? You been doing all right?
Oh yeah, I've been doing all right. Still kind of doing the homeless thing, but we're getting there. I'm sleeping indoors right now. That's nice.
Really
Did
good.
a we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And then I just did a labor conference thing. Kind of been going all over the place. I am also exhausted as hell. I could use one of them big fat naps.
Yeah, you should take you one of them big fat naps once we get done here. I
Oh,
I
as soon
cannot
as we're
recommend them
done here.
enough,
Yeah, as soon as we're
truly.
getting done here.
So, to our listeners, we figured we could either do an episode on conversion or NERP, NERP, NERP. How do you how are you
I just
realistically supposed to say that abbreviation? NERP,
I've just been saying nerp.
NERP. Yeah, I mean it was NERP before. Anyway, but Morris didn't think that he had it in him to do a NERP episode.
Yeah, I think it's a great program, and I don't think I'm the person to talk about it though because of just the way I've seen it. My problems with the program are the implementation, and it's a great, amazing program. It's one of the things that our union does where in some places you have people like Gus, who's been on this episode, my boy Boston Gus, who is brilliant, and then in other places the union half-asses it and lets management decide who the mentor is, and it's unfortunate. It's one of those things where if your union cares about it, it can be the coolest fucking thing. But if they don't care about it, it's just another. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I start thinking about that, and I just go blind with rage. So I think we might have. I think it'd be cool to talk to Gus about that. He can do that a lot better than I can. So maybe we reach out to him.
And the thing is NERP in small offices as well, which is kind of where my expertise lay. It's so much harder to implement that kind of thing in an office where you're already not getting hours, and it's just it's one of those situations where the NALC implemented a thing without fully thinking about the implications of implementing a thing. So we're going to talk about conversion.
Yeah, we'll talk about conversion. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
because we're not
now.
going to get into that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So basically, like this one's going to be pretty contract heavy. We're going to be doing a bunch of reading. We want to kind of tell you the difference, about like what it looks like once you convert, once you're done with your 2 years, right? Like we're going to get into that. How does it happen? What benefits are you going to get? What changes when you convert to PTF? Get called CCA plus, right? Like what does that look like? What are the actual differences, right? What changes? So Mal, you wanna start us off with the meat and potatoes of the thing?
Well, why don't you tell me, what
Okay.
is conversion? What does that mean, right?
Well, I mean, it's when you're not a CCA anymore, right? Like, thank God. Like, I know there's two ways. There's two ways to do it. You can be a vacant full time regular. If like a vacant full time regular position opens up, like if someone retires or transfers out or whatever, and that can bump up the most senior CCA. But I know there's caveats to that. That like unless there's a PTF or an unassigned regular or an FTF, which I'm not even sure what that one actually is, or management has to take a transfer. Like there's different ways that will get in the way of the most senior CCA taking that spot. Now, how I converted was it had nothing to do with any of that. I hit my 2 year contractual conversion, and they converted me to PTF. So now I'm career, and I'm not a CCA anymore, but I still feel like a CCA. And that happens to you like after like 24 months of relative standing, right? Does that make sense? That's where a lot of you, if you're a CCA, you hear that like your 2 years as a CCA. That's how I converted.
Yeah. So, let's dive into these two different ways of converting and kind of go through them and explain them and get into the meat and potatoes of it. So, the vacant full-time regular position one. Um a vacancy, like a route can become vacant from a full-time regular retiring, quitting, being converted to like an unassigned regular or an on the rolls not available, like if they have an OWCP case that has them out on a worker's injury, or if they're in a 204B status for more than 4 months, which they become an unassigned regular and then the route goes up for bid. Or if the route, or if a route is created or abolished through like route adjustment processes, sometimes a route can become available. Um, Article 7.3a states that management's required to have at least one full-time regular city carrier per one full-time city letter carrier route. It also says that they shall not exceed a ratio of 1.18 full-time regular city carriers per full-time letter city carrier routes. Full-time city letter carrier routes. That's difficult to say. So as long as PTFs exist, the employer shall staff all postal installations with 200 plus work years or more of employment with 88% full-time employees in the letter carrier craft. So some of you may ask, what is a work year? Is that years of work? Kinda, yeah. That comes from something called and this is just a quick sidebar, just so you know this, and you never have to learn this again. Because I did a lot of research asking about work years. It's confusing. It comes from something called the Bridge Memo, which was signed in 1974. You take the total number of paid work years in an installation and you divide it by 2080 hours to determine the number of work years. So it's calculated over the 1 year period immediately prior to the expiration of a contract. They count the paid work hours of APWU, NMU, and NALC carriers, like union members rather. NRLCA members are not determining any kind of determination into work years for some reason. So they break it down by 200 work year installations, 125 work year installations, and 100 work year installations, because I guess that's just how they break it down.
Okay.
What size work year installation you are in can be important because it affects the career complement. It affects your call-in guarantee. It affects transfers, safety and health committee responsibilities, who the Formal A representative is, all kinds of stuff. So,
So,
200 work year offices are going to be like your huge offices, like your Atlanta, your Chicago, all that. Past that, if you're not sure what size work year office you are, your steward should know. Your branch president should know. If all else fails, your NBA's office will know.
yeah,
So,
okay, because that math is so confusing.
yeah,
So just kind of when in doubt, ask your steward, because like that, I know for CCAs specifically, that is the determining factor between whether you get 4 hours show up time or 2 hours show up time, and
yep,
like, okay, yeah, all right. So for those of us who don't math, when in doubt, ask your steward.
right. And then
Yeah, okay,
like
cool.
union representatives, based on your work years in your office, that determines if your postmaster can be your Formal A or not, or if they need to have an outside Formal A. Like my office is not big
Oh,
enough for my postmaster to be the Formal A.
I didn't know that. The more you learn.
Mhm. So, a full-time regular position must be filled within 28 days, and the position has to be posted within 14 days of becoming vacant. And it must be posted for 10 days of becoming available in the following order. If the opportunity is a residual vacancy, an assignment of an unassigned full-time regular or full-time flexible city letter carrier in the same installation, or conversion of to full-time regular status of a part-time flexible city letter carrier in the same installation pursuant to Article 41, 2B, 6B, part-time flexible city letter carriers who have an active transfer request and e-reassign, which, fun fact, when you're in e-reassign, you are just considered a part-time flexible. So that language is kind of shisty. It's anybody with a transfer.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I didn't know that.
mhm. And then conversion of city carrier assistants to full-time regular carrier status in the same installation. And then acceptance and placement of voluntary reassignment requests pending an e-reassign at the time the full-time regular opportunity becomes available from qualified bargaining unit employees, including full and part-time regular city carriers, or reassignment of bargaining unit employees within the same installation. Reassignment requests will be made with normal considerations contained in the MOU RE transfers based on the order applications are received.
The math on this stuff is so crazy.
Yeah, I really don't want to get into all of the language about how they accept a transfer. It comes down to CCAs are fourth in line when there's a vacancy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I found that out because I ended up getting converted after 2 years because of all that math.
Mm.
So, but yeah, and I got converted. I got converted to becoming a PTF. I didn't get to go full time regular. So, do we want to move into like the differences between PTFs and CCAs?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of nailed down like residual vacancies pretty well. So, really, the only other option is becoming a PTF. So,
Okay. Yeah, and this is like a lot of the recently converted folk I've talked to recently. They all converted into PTF as well. So like, what is a PTF? Right? It's part time flexible is what it stands for. A lot of people call it CCA plus. That's you're effectively a lot of us are effectively going to end up working the same sort of hours we worked as a CCA, and it's going to feel a lot like being a CCA. But there are quite a few differences. Like a lot, you're first off, let's get to the pay, right? Because that's what we all that's what we all want, right? So we're going to jump up to I think it what is it, Mal? It's step B. It's like 25.67, I think. So you go from your starting pay to $25.67, which is very nice. Like I've just started getting my first full paychecks of my PTF money, and it is a lot nicer than life as a CCA. Um, so that's gonna be your first main difference, right? And then your other one is your benefits are going to change, and this is something just a little without going. We're going to touch on some of the benefit changes, but we did an episode back with Thomas McDonald at a branch 1642 in Yuma. I think that was episode 4. Where we talked a lot about benefits and stuff. So if you want to get heavy into the benefits, hop back and listen to that. But what you want to know converting to PTF first is you are going to be eligible for the Federal Employee Health Benefits Program. It's a lot better than the Care First stuff that you have as a CCA. But don't what you need to do immediately is enroll in that because from the date you're converted, you only have 60 days to enroll in it, and you're pretty well as your non-career benefits plan, your Care First, that enrollment plan is terminated on the last day of the month that is 28 days after you convert to a career position, or if you choose to enroll in the FEHB, your new plan, the date your FEHB coverage begins, whichever's earlier. So, like, your Care First is going to stop working about 28 days after you convert. And if you don't get signed up for the FEHB plan, within 60 days, you're not going to have that coverage until open enrollment. I made the mistake of we'll get to dental and vision real quick here in just a second. I remembered to do my dental and vision and I forgot about my FEHB. So I got to wait till open enrollment for that one. I can take care of my eyes and my chompers, but everything else is going to be a problem till open enrollment. Don't make that mistake. Okay. Uh, just immediately, you're going to be sent a package in the mail, and it's going to be a bunch of paperwork, and they'll help you get through the steps. Just make sure you take care of that right away. I mean, personally, I would take a day off of work during a weekday so I can get all that taken care of, and I can call 1-800 numbers and talk to people when they're not closed on the weekends or something like that. You really want to get that taken care of. So like uh, do that shit now. And then also, you now can get dental and vision insurance, right? So the Federal Employee Dental and Vision Insurance Program, I think it's FEDVIP, FED, VIP. There's so many damn acronyms at this job. It's a
Mhm.
voluntary, yeah, right. Like it's a voluntary program. So like you're not automatically going to be enrolled in it. It's something that you can hop in on. But unlike the FEHB plan, where the post office pays for some of your health benefits, you're going to be paying for everything on your vision plan, right? Your vision and dental. Um,
But I will
it's
say they are incredibly, incredibly affordable.
oh
I
yeah,
have the high option for both of them. The dental is 55 something for a family plan, and they cover
Y-
like 70% on a filling. It's
yeah.
a really, really, really good dental plan.
Yeah, I paid for the premium ones too, because like I'm nearsighted and like I want to be able to see what I'm doing, and this is the first time in a long time that I've had dental insurance. So I was like, I gotta get this whole thing redone, So I'm paying for the premium one. But yeah, they are incredibly affordable. Um, and then let's see what there's also flexible spending we can now do. Mal, did you want to talk about that? I know we get into that a lot on the episode with Thomas, on episode 4 that we did. I don't know how much we want to go into it on here, but you're able to start doing that flexible spending, the FSA stuff.
Yeah, that's just another optional benefit program that you have. At the beginning of your enrollment or at open season, you can elect a certain amount of money to be used throughout the year towards eligible medical expenses. Like I think I do like $700 at the beginning of the year. It ends up being like 20 or $30 out of my paycheck every time. But at the beginning of the year, you get that money without uh like tax on it, and it's just free to use at like CVS for your prescriptions, or at the eye doctor's office for your glasses, or as a copay for a doctor's visit. Like you can use it for all kinds of shit. It's saved my ass so many times when I was a broke ass bitch who could not afford to pay a copay.
Nice. Yeah, and that's something I got to look into doing because I'm definitely going to end up needing to use that. But yeah, also, I know that there are sometimes you're going to be met with some people trying to sell you life insurance as a CCA. But now that you are a career, if you're not doing all that now as a career, all employees converted to career status are automatically enrolled in the Federal Employee Group Life Insurance, the FEGLI,
Mhm.
Fergie, FEGLI.
Are
Uh,
delicious.
it- yeah, that's you're automatically enrolled in. It's so it's voluntary. Like you can get out of it, right? I
Yeah,
think.
you can waive it, but I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally like 30 cents out of your paycheck for like like $10,000 worth of life insurance, maybe.
yeah,
I
and the
can't remember
USPS
exactly.
pays. Yeah, and it says the USP. This says the USPS pays the entire cost of the basic coverage. Now,
Yeah.
if you want like if you got a family, or if like you just want like that crushed velvet casket with like the mahogany and like the chrome trim on it, you can spend extra money, and you can choose to increase your life insurance coverage up to 5 times your annual salary, or provide optional coverage for your spouse, eligible dependent, children. Yeah. However, the premiums are paid in what's it say? Oh shit. However, these additional premiums are paid entirely by the employee. So the post office is going to cover your basic stuff. If you want to go above and beyond your basic stuff, you can do that. I would recommend doing that. Funerals are expensive. You don't want to be leaving people with that shit.
And
But
it's
yeah,
literally like pennies on the dollar for the extra coverage. Like
yeah,
even for your children, it's literally pennies on the dollar for like the minimum amount of coverage you would, and God forbid that happen, but it's
yeah,
it's not it's minimal amount of pay out of your paycheck to ensure that should the worst case scenario happen, you can, give your spouse or your child a funeral that they deserve. So,
yeah,
worth doing.
yeah. And I think that kind of wraps up the health and life insurance, dental insurance, and all that. But like retirement, right? Now we're finally fucking career. Now, like half of us got this job because retirement seems like such a make believe thing in this day and age, and like now we're actually paying into our retirement, right? So like Once you convert to a career employee, you're enrolled in the federal employees retirement system (FERS). It and that comprises three different components, right? You have the basic benefit plan, and then you have Social Security, and you have the Thrift Savings Plan (TSP). We talked about this in episode 4 with Tommy out of Yuma, and so your
It,
Social Security. Say what?
you might have Social Security when you retire. I fucking won't.
Yeah. But so the basic plan and the Social Security portion, they're defined benefits, right? But we can actually that's we can't do anything on altering that to make our retirement more cushy. What we can do is we can put money into our thrift savings plan though to make our shit a little bit more cushy. And this is what I do. This is what everyone's told me to do. This is what a lot of the old timers do. So career employees have control over their TSP. The post office automatically contributes 1% of your base pay and will match your contributions up to 5% of your base pay. And now your participation in this is completely voluntary, and but you're going to be automatically enrolled, right? And unless you elect to change or stop the contributions, 3% of the base pay is going to be deducted from each pay period and deposited in your TSP account. Now, because the post office will match up to 5%, well, fuck it, that's free money. So I'm going to put 5% in there, right? So then their contribution is higher. So then, I can relax a little more once I get to retirement age if I make it that far, right? So that's what we have control over. So we can. I would recommend, and this is what everyone says: is put in match that 5% that the post office is willing to match. Put that into your retirement, right? Mal, was there anything about retirement that you wanted to touch on?
Uh, just when it comes to your TSP, talk to a lot of people.
Yep,
There's a lot of different ways that you can control your TSP, how your investment is spread. Like there's, the the groups, funds like C fund, D fund, and blah fund, and X fund, and your mama fund. Like I don't know what all them are. I was told to put my money in a certain way, and I put my money in that way that I was told. And I mean, as of right now, I'm up 13% year to date.
that's pretty dope.
You literally sit there and you watch your money move. It stonks, yay stonks. But
Awesome.
I rolled in a retirement from an old uh job that I'd had, and I maybe had like $900, and in the year that I have been a PTF, I went from $900 to 4.3K.
That's
So
that's pretty that's pretty damn good.
yeah, it's really important that you start this shit. Like I'm 29 years old and I've only got 4,000 set towards retirement.
Yeah,
It,
that's
Start
not
doing
bad.
this shit, y'all. It's important.
Yeah. Yeah, before
Um,
you're gonna wake up and be 40 years old and on a podcast somewhere. Okay,
yeah.
so I think that covers like the benefits parts. Now let's get into, so we covered our pay. We're getting paid better. Fuck yeah, we're still working kind of the same sort of hours, but we're getting paid better, and our benefits are better. So what about leave? Right? Part of us, we all got these sick ass union jobs, so we could get sick leave and annual leave. So you fucking get that now, dude. Congratulations. We get sick leave and shit. So, like, let's talk about annual leave first. So, again, similar to all these work hours math that the people who write this stuff do, I'm going to try and just give the Cliff's notes on this because I don't understand the shit and I'm not good at it. But I do know that you get, so there's different structures. If you're working for under 3 years, from 3 to 15 years, or over 15 years, you accrue your annual leave faster depending on where you're at. Since we're just starting, I'm just going to focus on that. In under 3 years, you're going to accrue 1 hour of annual leave per 20 hours worked, right? And you have to, and I think that's if you're a new hire, you don't start accruing until you've already gone past your 90-day qualifying period, I believe. But we're already, if you're converting from CCA to PTF, we've already done that, right? Now you're able to accumulate annual leave and also have it roll over year to year up to a maximum of 55 days or 440 hours. Um, and that's which is dope. If you never take time off and you're trying to save up so you can just fucking run off to go to go hang out in Australia or go on safari or some crazy shit for a month, like you can save up all that time, right? And it will roll over, but it will hit that maximum at that point. But I
Weren't
don't.
weren't we weren't we also supposed to get the forwarded annual leave provisions and shit, and that still also hasn't been implemented?
Yeah, I looked at my e-payroll today to see what my annual leave looked like, and it had not. It's supposed to be forwarded and front loaded and whatever. They keep saying that it's 2 weeks, I guess, in the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks trademark.
2 weeks.
Soon.
TM CR. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's your annual leave, right? And as you go along in your career, you'll accumulate your annual leave a lot faster, right? But right now you're getting 1 hour per 20 hours work, right? That seems like not a lot, but just go to work, and before you know it, you'll have a bunch of shit, right? So let's talk about sick leave. That sweet, sweet sick leave. So we don't have to, we don't have to miss a bunch of pay if we're not able to make it to work because we're sick. We can actually have sick leave, like real people. So sorry, there's no qualifying period for sick leave, right? If you're a career, you automatically start accruing it. You get 1 hour per 20 hours worked, similar to the annual leave first step. The first clip in annual leave, you get 1 hour per 20 hours worked, up to 104 hours per 26 pay period leave year. Let's just keep it simple, and you can accrue it up to 104 hours, right? And apparently you can do it more, but that's math. I've got a job at the post office because I did not finish college. So yeah, all right. And but the cool thing is your sick leave will roll over year to year, and that has no maximum, which is awesome. Um, now there's a Mal, you and I had this conversation off mic. We get annual leave, we get sick leave. What about holiday pay?
No.
No, damn it.
No. That so the the way that yes, but no, but yes, but no, and it
It sounds like
technically
we get holiday pay with an asterisk and then a bunch of small print that actually takes away our that says no, no, you don't.
yeah, it's so technically our holiday pay is built into our regular pay. Technically.
Okay. Yeah.
So we don't but you'd think that we would just, get holiday pay and make less money. That's
Yes.
what most people would prefer. That's what I would prefer. I would prefer
Yeah.
to get paid on a day that's a holiday that I don't work and then just, maybe make a little bit less, but like, have a day off and then get the benefits of having the day off like regular ass fucking people, but no, we don't deserve that. So,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
it sounds like yeah, it sounds like they went like an ass backwards way to do a bunch of different math when I would rather just be able to look at my pay stub and see where my money is.
right. Like
But
they
yeah.
were when they were figuring out how to do holiday pay for PTS, they were like patting their head and rubbing their tummies and hopping down on one foot at the same
Yeah.
time. Just, you know,
That's why we jumped from $20 an hour to 25.65. I think I wrote down 67. 25.67. Is that it?
I don't know.
I did the
Something like
math. I did the math. But yeah.
yeah, holiday pay, nah.
Okay. All right. So okay. Well, that's dumb. But we're still getting paid about $5 more than we otherwise would be, and so we're gonna celebrate that, right? So that's kind of the big differences on that. There are some smaller things that we got to touch on, right? There's a like let's talk hold downs real quick. So the so there's really not a whole lot of difference between the application of opting on hold down rules between part-time flexibles and PTFs and CCAs, right? Now the difference there is is you're going. They have to award if you bid on a hold down as a PTF and a CCA bids on it, you're going to get it because they have to fill that position with PTFs, unassigned regulars, and whatnot. And there's another position that I've never heard of outside of contract language. But um, your hold downs, it's pretty much going to be the same thing. We have a PTF at my office who's got a hold down, and like they're wanting to send her to a completely different station, but they can't make her break her hold downs. The hold down rules still apply. Um, it's just now you're going to get your hold down if you're bidding between CCAs stuff, right? Um, now other stuff, light duty assignments. As a CCA, they're not going to let you do light duty, right? But you are now eligible for light duty assignments as a career employee, as a PTF. It's it's not the same as limited duty. Light duty is when you're hurt off the clock and ask for accommodation until you recover. Light duty assignments are covered in your LMOU. So if you got questions, ask your steward or branch president. Now, there's a couple other things. Oh, your work hour schedule. One of the points we want to talk about that. Amazon Sundays. Now, you might still be required to work Amazon Sundays, especially now that we're coming into the holiday season, right? Now, here's the difference. And here's what I've had PTFs reach out and ask me, like, hey, I'm a PTF now, and they're making me work Amazon Sunday. Can they do that? Well, yeah. If they're smart, they're not going to work you on an Amazon Sunday. And this is why, because you will now get a Sunday premium payment. While PTFs may be required to work on Sunday, they will receive an additional 25% of the base hourly rate for each hour worked. So you're going to make an extra 25% of your hourly rate when you work Sunday. That's why a lot of managers are not going to work PTFs on a Sunday unless they desperately have to because they got to pay you more. Right? So you're going to be your hours again, like I said, if you're having a hard time getting hours as a CCA in your area because hours are shy, that might continue as a PTF. That's why you got to try and get a hold down or whatever.
I was gonna say something along the lines of the Amazon Sunday thing. The work hour protections, how PTFs have to be guaranteed up to 40 hours before a CCA is entitled to work, right? So that kind of plays into Amazon Sunday as well.
That makes sense. Well, I want to talk about one more thing as far as the hours, and then can you talk a little bit about transfers? Um,
Yeah, I know quite a bit about them after at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're the expert there. I don't want to be just reading this, looking at the screen to see if you're giving me a thumbs down while we record this.
Ooh. Just kidding.
This is I'm not good at reading. Like this is such a like this episode feels like such a slog because it is very much rules stuff, and that's not these aren't the fun episodes to do, but they're important. So I'm glad you guys are sticking with us and listening. So one of the other things for lower hour offices. Um, So, like a PTF may be required to work a split shift under certain conditions, right? So if you're not like me, my hours are the exact same as they were as a CCA because that's just we have too many hours in our office. If you're in an office with less hours, you might be asked to do split shift stuff. So a split shift is when a PTF employee works a split shift or are called back. So when a part-time flexible employee is notified prior to clocking out that he or she or they or them should return within 2 hours, that's considered a split shift and there's no new guarantee. Now, what it's talking about with the no new guarantee is that 2 or 4 hours, depending on how many work hours. My station, we get an automatically 4 hour show up time. Now, as a PTF, if they tell you before you clock out that you are coming back in 2 hours for a split shift, you're not going to get guaranteed that 4 hours worth of work when you come back. This is what the language says. When a part time flexible employee prior to clocking out is told to return after 2 hours, the employee must receive the applicable guarantee of 2 to 4 hours of work or pay for the first shift when you clock in the morning. The employee must be given another minimum guarantee of 2 hours of work or pay for the second shift. So you don't get that full 4 the second time, right? Because it's the second time you come back, you're guaranteed a minimum of 2 hours worth of work. The second time you come back, this guarantee is applicable to any size office. Now, the only time where you're gonna get that guarantee both times is if you leave for the day, you finished your assignment, clocked out, left the premises, regardless of the intervals between shift. You're If they call you back and you answer your phone to come back in the station, you are then guaranteed 4 hours of pay if called back to work. That guarantee is applicable to any size office. Does that make sense? Am I
Additionally,
making
though,
sense, Mel?
yeah, but that being called back, that's only to your home installation. If you get off of your shift that day and you're about to go home and they say, we're sending you to over yonder hill installation that's not part of ours, that is subject to the relocation benefits thing. We just had a grievance. Is it 125B5? I think.
Mm.
I think that's what it is. It's where a PTF must be given a 30 days notice if possible before being sent out to another
Yeah.
office. Uh, if you don't want to get sent out to another office anymore, once you're a PTF, you don't fucking got to because they have to give you a 30 days notice if they're going to involuntarily relocate you.
Hell yes.
So, yeah, that's 125B5. So that the 30 days notice that's within 50 miles. That's your regular travel area. It's 60 days notice if it's outside of the 50 miles. So the way that my office does it is we give them a written note that says, hey, I volunteer to go to X, Y, and Z office without being asked. You can send me there anytime you want. I don't care. I do not volunteer to go to X, Y, and Z office without being asked.
Yeah.
You have now the ability to say, hey, you can't do this shit to me anymore. Talk to me about it
Okay.
first.
So
So,
management has to learn a little consent when they try and fuck us around
yeah,
now. Okay.
yeah. Now they have to ask you nicely before they put the cactus in.
Awesome. You want to talk about transfers?
Yeah. What I was talking about a little bit earlier, 71C4, PTFs are guaranteed up to 40 hours of work prior to working a CCA, as long
Oh
as the
yeah.
CCA gets their reporting guarantee, which the reporting guarantee is the 2 or 4 hours, depending on the work years of that office, which is Article 88C. So yeah, 71C4 means that a PTF should be worked before a CCA is worked, except for that the CCA has to get their 2 or 4 hours of work every week because they have to be scheduled, right? So when you were a CCA, if you wanted to transfer, all you had to do was to write out a little note saying, "Hey, I want to transfer to this office," and give it to your postmaster, and the postmaster can't really hold you in. Like they have to be like, okay, well, I guess you're transferring and set up a transfer date and then you transfer. Um when you do that as a PTF, that's not how that works anymore. You can't just say, "Hey, I want to transfer. Okay, bye." Yeah, no, that don't fly. You are now subject to the rules of transferring. And it's all done through e-reassign on light blue. It's a very, very, very much more complicated means of transferring because PTFs can't transfer as PTFs unless you're transferring to an office that only hires PTFs and not CCAs. I've just learned
Oh.
this. Yeah, like if I wanted to transfer to North Carolina right the fuck now, right? I would have to find an installation in North Carolina that hires straight to PTF because of that hiring straight to PTF memo. And the offices that
Yeah.
hire straight to PTF, they don't stay on that memo. They only do that for a certain amount of time, and then eventually they get taken off that memo.
Yeah.
So good luck finding an office that does that. You won't. Because you can't think about it like you can't just hop in front of CCAs in seniority like that. It's not right.
Yeah.
That's the whole basis of the why you can't transfer ahead of CCAs. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, so the way that it works is you either have to have an 18-month lock-in period or a 12-month lock-in period. So the 18-month lock-in period, that is for in your district or in a neighboring district. So like for example, I am in the Kentucky West Virginia district. If I wanted to transfer to Illinois, Indiana, Virginia, Tennessee, Ohio, Missouri, I would have to wait 18 months before doing that. However, management can choose to release you early from your 18-month lock-in period for a local transfer, which is same district, neighboring district. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
after that, though, if you want to go outside of your same or neighboring district, like I was trying to do, North Carolina obviously does not border Kentucky or West Virginia. It is not a neighboring district. It is outside of that. So I would have to serve a 12-month lock in period, which you would think would be better because it's not the 18-month lock in period. However, management cannot release you early from the 12-month lock in period, only the 18-month. Make that make
Huh.
sense. I can't.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Um,
it doesn't make any fucking sense. But
that's right up there with work hour 100,000 work hours math and
like
holiday pay
48
math.
hours divided by and then add all the
Yeah,
units together, but not the NRLCA, not them. Yeah, that
yeah.
don't make fucking
It's a
sense.
it's a beautiful mind bullshit when we all know management can't do math anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's all calculated by some kind of big computer somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's the algorithm. Hell yes, the algorithm. Uh, did you have more on transfers?
Good luck if you
Yeah.
want to transfer. When you go on eReassign, and I'm pretty sure there's a guide on formatearbitration.com on how to use eReassign. You can search on eReassign for active requests. There's never, ever, ever city carrier requests on there. Very rarely, if ever. It's usually PSEs, like clerks, where they have the postings. If you get on eReassign and you want to switch crafts, you have to do it a certain way. Also, how dare you? But yeah, you get on eReassign and you fill it out on there, and then you wait. Your branch president more than likely gets an active eReassign list once every quarter that tells the entire fucking country, bro, on this list who has an active e-reassign in for which installation. So if you're curious how long it would take you to get into, say, the office of your boyfriend in North Carolina, look at that
That's awesome.
list and you'll know. And you'll know that there's like 20 people ahead of me in line in e-reassign. I will never get in. Great.
It's oddly
Um,
specific now.
yeah, I don't know who that could be talking about. Other than that, I only have one more thing. Um, when you convert to PTF, listen to me right now. You are supposed to get training, on the clock training. Management is supposed to sit you in front of a computer and give you training on all of your benefits and all of your goodies and your doodads and your whatsits. Management is supposed to train you on
Can I
everything.
tell you? Can I tell you what that training looks like in Fort Worth?
I
It
bet it
is
was
a
bullshit.
rather than it's supposed to be multiple choice questions after you watch a video. It was a recording of the someone's screen recording of someone going through the training, and I just sat back and watched a YouTube video of someone going through the training. It was uh, pretty great.
Oh, that's fucked. Yeah,
Yeah,
at least in my district, they put me on the actual Zoom call, and I
yeah.
was damn. Yeah, they're supposed to like don't if your management does that shit, grieve that shit. But yeah, you're supposed to go through a like Zoom call training thing. I there's a site somewhere that says that you're supposed to get this training in some handbook or some manual or something. I don't know where it is.
Maybe
Don't
we
ask
can find that and put it in the show notes
Oh
because
god, you
like
want me to do work, Morris?
oh god, dude, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm just
Okay,
fucking.
there's a okay, so there's two. Yeah, we're so burnt out.
Yeah,
We're doing this for the love of the game, guys.
yeah.
And this particular episode is so contract heavy, so we're gonna try to keep it short because this has been a slog for all of us. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of things to talk about, so
yeah, I had two things I wanted to touch on real quick. Your relative standing date is going to change. It's no longer going to be your hire date, right? Your seniority and your relative standing. I hear people use those terms interchangeably. They are different as far as the contract goes. The long and short of it is now the date that you're going to be worried about isn't your start date. It's going to be the date that you converted, and you'll see that if you go like sign up to the you should be able to see that. I can't remember where to find it in light blue, but I know the NELC.org members only page has my conversion date now. um,
you can also get
the
on EOPF on light blue and you can see all
There
your
you go.
450s.
Yeah, that was I couldn't figure it out on light blue. I figured out on the so there you go. You got two different ways to look at it. And then with that though, your uniform allowance is now going to be different. Your uniform, the way you get it, you're not going to have to wait till management gives you a piece of paper. You know, it gives you your uniform allowance letter. They're going to send you a card that you're just going to have. That's going to be your uniform allowance is automatically going to be. Is it automatic now? That it's automatically put in onto the card now.
Yep.
Yeah, which is
They
good. You don't have to file 8 grievances to try and get your uniform letter like you do as a CCA. And
they're supposed to send it within like X amount of weeks after. Hang on. I think I have mine where my postmaster had requested it.
yeah,
But yeah, your postmaster, your supervisor will request your uniform card, and then it will get mailed to you with information about how to activate it and shit. And then after that,
after
it's
that, it's just automatic, right?
yep.
That's awesome.
Uh Notification of uniform allowance establishment. Please inform your employee of the following information. And it has the anniversary date and when it processes. Oh, my uniform allowance processed a couple days ago, actually. Good thing I just pulled this out. Thanks, Morris.
Hey, no problem. You know me. I'm
The
always
employee,
thinking about something.
the employee
Um,
gets fully established on the uniform program. Allow approximately 14 business days from the process date noted above for the receipt of the card. The employee must activate the new card. Has 1 year from the anniversary date to use the allowance. Da, 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 da. And yeah, there's a whole like email that your postmaster will get.
the yeah, the only other thing I can think of that we need to know about the uniform allowance thing, other than the fact that now you have a card, and once it's set up, you don't got to fuck around with it. Is that now since like your start date doesn't matter anymore? Now it's your career date, right? Well, with the what doesn't change is your uniform. You'll retain the same uniform anniversary date that you established as a CCA. You know, 90 work days or 120 calendar days, whichever came first. You know that the date that you got your first uniform allowance, that's now just going to be your career uniform allowance date, right? Did we do
Yeah.
it, Mal? Is this the episode? Because
I think we've done it. By God, we've done it.
awesome. Yeah, I know we wanted to talk about layoff protections. It's 6 years, I think, which is a ways out for anyone converting right now to get like to have your to be bulletproof at the post office. You have to have 6 years in. there's a couple different caveats um, with that. Where did I put those notes? Yeah, here we go. Uh, Members of the regular workforce are protected from layoffs or reductions in force once they reach 6 years of continuous service, right? And I'd read you the language, but it's honestly that's all you got to know about that stuff. You can look it up. It's Article 6, no layoffs or reduction in force. The long and short of it is, we've read so much contract language this time. I know you guys are bored as hell out there, so we're trying to keep this short. You got 6 years of being career before you get those layoff protections. So just I don't know. Yeah, that's about all I can think of on the PTF thing.
Okay.
I think we hit everything else.
Did you? Yeah, I can't find anything that we've missed in the outline.
Yeah.
So, how solidarity do you want to be on your soapbox today?
Um, I don't know. Like I've been going through a lot of shit. Like I'm gonna start crying if I talk about it too much. But like I've been living in a tent, man, and like I can't. If it wasn't for, I know there are a lot of folk. Steve started a fucking GoFundMe. I've had people sending me care packages, or like buying me McDonald's and like telling me like it's at this McDonald's. Stop by there and get your chicken nuggies, bro. Like it's been really sweet and like really overwhelming, and like I don't know how to say thank you enough, and like I don't know where I'd be without that sort of without y'all's support. I probably wouldn't be here. Like when we talk about solidarity and taking care of each other, like I like that's the shit I'm talking about. I never thought that I would be on the receiving end of something like that, but like that's like I just want to say thank you to everybody, and like I am, yeah, it's I ain't quite there yet, but I'm almost there, and like I am. I wasn't looking at being in a stable place until February, and now it looks like I'm going to be having that handled in the next couple weeks, and that's only because of how wonderful we all are, and I got to start fucking writing out fucking thank you cards and buying stamps and shit.
Hey, they have some cool stamps you can use now.
Yeah.
You could get the SpongeBob stamps, or you could get the Goodnight Moon stamps,
Good night, moon
or
stamps. I saw those. Those are really cute.
yeah,
Uh,
they have a lot of stamps right now.
yeah, I love you guys. And I am, yeah, I'm incredibly lucky, man. I can't, yeah, I can't thank you enough. And yeah, I guess that's aside from aside from spending like 3 weeks writing thank you notes and whatever. I'm just gonna keep saying thank you to you guys. I love you very much. Um, that's all I got for the solidarity box right now. Soapbox right now. What do you think, Mal?
Uh,
Did we do the damn thing?
yeah, I think we did do the damn thing. I I don't know if we're gonna do another episode anytime soon. I know we've got one planned for like October-ish. We might hit one out in September.
Yeah,
We might. I don't know. I'm so fucking tired, y'all.
we got stuff way in flux right now, dear
Mhm.
listener. We're gonna try to get another one out here in September, but we might be looking more like October. So I know,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be changing up the format a little bit, and we'll let you guys know about that here in a little while. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's an episode.
I think it is too. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to us bullshit for about an hour. I love you. I appreciate you. We'll be back soon with some more CCA relative nonsense. And until then, stay fly, stay cool. Don't be mean to your neighbors, and do the right thing and treat animals nice. Okay, bye.
Solidarity forever. Solidaridad para siempre.